Hello. Good afternoon, all. Dear lesbian, bisexual, transgender, trans man, trans women, jogappa, jokties, and my dear ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this opportunity, and TEDxVydehiSchool has given this opportunity. I'm so privileged here to present the issues of a transgender community. So, generally, what do you think? This society is normal? No. Every way you will see problem, problem, problem. What is this exactly a problem? You are tall, then that is a problem. You are a short, then that's a problem. You are a fat, that's a problem. You are a white, problem. Black, problem. I'm here to break all this kind of stereotype notion, and my existing is the evidence to prove that the society will always have problem, even if you wear a short skirt, if you wear a burqa, if you eat meat, you don't eat, that's a problem society. We should just go ahead, like we had heard, set a goal and go towards a goal. Yes. So I'm Suman, and I proudly claim myself as a trans woman. But also, just to give a definition, I say that I'm a trans woman. But I want to claim myself as a proud woman. Applause. So that's how my advocacy is worked. I ask for my rights, and that's how we got. Since 10 years back, where you have seen a transgender communities on the roadside, sex work, on the shops, begging, doing a sex work. But today, I'm here as one of the speakers. That's how my ask is here. So I take this opportunity as a privilege, and I represent my community that we also are capable and we can do whatever we want. And like generally people start saying that I born as a child of a boy baby, then I wanted to become a kind of a girl. So that's how the story starts. But I want to start my story with when I started my journey of my advocacy and the struggle when I was doing my college. So generally, people think that transgenders are aliens. Transgenders they would have fallen directly from the sky. Or transgenders' parents are also a transgender. This kind of a myths existing in the society. One of a speech I went and gave to one of college, and one student is asking me, "Ma'am, your father is also a transgender. Your mother is also a transgender." So that's how there is a lack of information in the society. So they are not aware of what exactly the identity of a transgender is. There are different identities. That's how when we are talking about the diversity and inclusion, we have multiple identities existing into a sexual minority transgender umbrella. So every identity has its own dignity. I think we should respect that identity. So that's how I always claim, saying that my pronouns are she and her. Don't judge based on the attire. Don't judge based on the color. Don't judge based on the voice. You can ask. So there is nothing wrong to ask. What pronoun to be used? and what need to be identified and what is your identity. I think that really will be helpful. Because until people judging, saying that based on the voice I'm judging you as a man, that's something, it really undermines our dignity. So that's how our struggle starts here. Even I was also doing a sex work. I was doing for 4 years sex work, and I was not happy. And my community told me to go to do a begging, but I was also not happy doing begging, because for me, I started thinking, saying that why my parents are not a beggar, my parents are not sex worker, then why will I take this? Because the society is not giving any opportunity, that I am taking this opportunity. So how do you combat this, and how do you overcome this? So that's how I was suffering 4-5 years doing sex work in Bombay. You have heard about the red light areas. So I was there doing a sex work. We have already done a castrations, and that is a sex reassignment surgery. And then I was not happy doing, because there is an enormous of discriminations and struggle you face over there. And that's how it made me to do something for the society, because I am not only one transgender who's facing kind of discrimination, violence. There are so many transgenders who face a kind of a similar discrimination. And that's how I have started. I just came back to Bangalore, and I was doing a kind of a job where this was only for the 3,000 rupees a salary, and this is for the HIV prevention outreach work. I joined this job, and they were paying me 3,000 rupees, and I was very active doing this work. And suddenly there was a kind of a opportunity where I was supposed to meet the Chief Minister of Karnataka. Then I had a kind of a discussion with the Chief Minister of Karnataka, and that got published in the newspaper. And immediately, this published newspaper went to my mother, and mother saw, and she called me, and she said, "We threw out you just because of your identity. I think you are proving something. I think we regret for that. So I think you can come." That's how the first welcome came from my mother. So I just went home, but there was a conditions. You can't come with a sari wearing a female dress, but you should come wearing a pant and shirt. Wearing a pant and shirt was also difficult for me, because your attire is completely changed. And then my mother proposed to wear a burqa and come. Wearing a burqa is also so difficult. And after a conversation with my mother used to tell me, go home after 12 p.m. Because at that time, nobody will be there around, your neighbors will be not there, so it will be easy for you to go out. That time, when I leave the home, it was not so easy for me to leave the house, because I was literally sexually harassed by the road, where in the roads you see a lot of goons standing, and they propose me to have sex with them. So it was not safe coming out 12 p.m. in the night. So that's how it was really mattering me a lot, and I decided that writing is very important, and that can change your life. So that's how I have chosen my journalism, And in 2015, I joined BA Journalism in St. Joseph College, and I completed my Masters in Journalism. And today I'm claim myself as a community journalist. I write a lot about my community. I write a lot about community because that one incident, it changed my mother's thought and it changed my life. So that's how I have chosen the journalism field. And my struggle didn't stop over there. People had assumption that transgenders only fit for sex work, transgender fit for only begging. They don't fit into any kind of professional. That is the reality thought within the society they have. But I have overcome on those thoughts and I proved them that they are wrong. And that's how within 1,000 students, I was only one student of a transgender. So I proudly claim myself, I was the first transgender student after 2015 that I got admission in St. Joseph College. That getting admission was also not easy. I literally moved into many colleges for an admission, and literally they rejected because of your gender identity. Gender identity, your mask card says male, and your TC talks about that you are a male, and I look like a woman, and submitting those identity cards and your mask cards, then they say no, this is something you are forging it, we are not going to admission. So that made something for me to trigger that, it got triggered me that this is the kind of advocacy that we have to handle through judicial. So that's how I filed my first petition in Supreme Court to amend section 377 along with my mother. So my first petition, which lead to the 2015 judgment, that is the Third Gender Judgment. So this judgment talks about it gave a status of a third gender, and you will be treated equally in front of the Constitution of India. That's how the judgment talks. But I have a question over here. Then when the judiciary is giving me the third gender status, then who are the first gender status? Who are the second gender? And we are the third gender. Don't you see the hierarchy here? So the first genders are men. Say yes, no. The second gender are women. And the third least is the third gender. So we have there is a kind of a disagreement on this. Like, why is this 1, 2, 3 is being categorized? So, but when we see into the context of development, I think this judgment, which will be leading for further advocacy and further discussion with judiciary. That's how we get the strategies, how do we work for the advocacy works. And that's how it leaded, and so in 2018 we got Supreme Court judgment on IPC section 377 that consensual having a sex or consensual partners is not criminal. So that's how in 2018 we got the judgment, and we are no more criminals now. Don't you think that is a great achievement that we got this achievement, because just to live our life as into a dignified life, because we have, like how you people are there accessing different privileges. I think that privileges also should be given to us. And why the certain section of the people are being excluded, where we don't have that privileges. So that motivated me to do something in the Karnataka state. So I was a member or to draft Karnataka state policy. In 2017, we got Karnataka state policy. And followed to that, we also needed education, the basic, the fundamental rights. We need employment. We got 2% of reservation in Bangalore University. But this 2% of reservation is for post-graduation. We felt this is so senseless because our community, most of the communities are dropouts from at the age of 15, 16, 17. At that age, what the students will be doing it? They will be in the 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. So we want that reservation into that level, not in the post-graduation level. So that advocacy still is happening. And the next level is for the basic survival is for your employment opportunity. And again, I filed, like my whole team, we filed a petition in High Court of Karnataka with the help of Supreme Court judgment. And in 2020-21, we got 1% of reservation in under the government employment opportunities. Once upon a time, we were doing sex work and we didn't know how to lead the advocacy and how to lead the movement, how to lead the campaigns, how to negotiate, how to raise your voice. We were being excluded and we were dumped into some professional. But today, we can see a lot of changes. We are into mainstreams and we are succeeding it just because you people accepted us. So this will not happen, it would have not happened until you people have not accepted us. There are so many people have accepted our identity, our color, our height, our voice. So that's how the changes got. That's how the inclusion. I say that I always don't blame the society because I feel that society is lacking with the information. I feel that society is lacking with the awareness. So I think until you don't do a lot of awareness and sensitization about our identity. And people were asking, ma'am, you have a presentation, PPT, that this, they were asking. I said, no, I don't have my PPT. I am the live presentation. Because someone can bring some PPT and they can present it. They will not know the feelings of the community. You have to touch me, you have to feel me, because still there is a myth that people think that we will be masculine, we will be strong, we will be having extra one hand behind, we will have a tail. Oh God, they will ask so much of questions. So that kind of misconception and miscommunication will be resolved until you don't come on live. So that's how I made myself as an alive presentation, and I'm here. Also with this, I also have my own life. I have my survival. I'm doing community work, I'm doing society change, I have a responsibility, those things, but I also have my responsibility for to survival. So today I work in the opposite company, GE, General Electric. I work as an HR. And I run an organization called Swatantra. So the Swatantra organization basically focuses on right to education, right to employment, and policy advocacy. Because I strongly believe on this that education will for sure change your life. Education is the base pillar where you can overcome with all of your challenges and struggle. That's how I prove myself. So today I have taken a lot of initiatives just because that my home community can have the confidence. So in my same college there are 20 people enrolled for their admission into same course. So that's how I see the changes. That's how, because once we feel that there is a fire and you will not have an idea that how the fire feels it, like how the fire is exactly. You touch and then you will sense that the fire is hot and it will hurt you. So we had a notion that if we go to a college, if we come to a society, mainstream society, the society will literally crush us and they will demolish us. We had that kind of notion. But I proved that it's all wrong. Because today I'm surviving is just because the society accepted me. I'm not blaming all men are bad, I'm not blaming all women are bad. There are certain sections of people still have that kind of a notions that really need to be changed. So it's just about the changing of your mind setups and your thoughts. It's not abnormal, it's all normal. So as how the environment has created many things, we also as a part of this environment. So I think we also breathe the same oxygen and we don't breathe something different. So that thoughts accept and don't judge. And also we have a lot of things that we want to live our life dignified. And so like these days I think we were just going and asking the society that help us, do us. But today there is a situation that we have overcome all those things and we are taking a lead in many things. So that's how the changes happens. So don't show your sympathy. Accept us how we are. Don't judge us. Support sexual minority. Don't judge. Support the issues and voice out for the issues. I think this will be a kind of this speech will really have a kind of a power to communicate to many people. So that's how the changes will happen. So as a change maker, we communicate the informations and we share the things to different people. So that's how the information transfers and the changes happens. So still we are working hard. There are so many things like existing. We are also fighting for same-sex marriage in the Supreme Court. We have a petitions. So how do we support? Like when we are talking about equality in equity, we don't have a right to get married as a part of human being society. We also have the right to get married, adoption, property rights. So when you are denying it, then how we will lead a dignified life? So we have all this kind of desires. Many people want to get married and many people want to prove themselves in the society that we also being part of the society. So I also see there is a men toilet and women toilet, but I also want to say principle to bring the gender neutral toilet as well. I think there are, because when you people are children, I think there are children who are gender non-conforming children also will be existing among the students. So how do we challenge, how do we deal with that? Because we will not come open up, because at that age we will be not knowing what is our identity. That is a gender non-conforming children's. So these children will not have comfortable using of a male toilet or a female girl toilet. So how do we support the issues? How do we support these identities? Bringing kind of these changes within the campus, within your institutions. I think that's how we practice the diverse and inclusivities. Most of places I have seen, like this corporate companies, they say we have diverse in inclusions, we have diverse in inclusions. So I think most people, they talk a lot about the diverse, about the inclusion. But when it comes to the practice, I think you will see a lot of loops in that. So when you talk, when you tell, when you present, I think you should also practice that. So the practice should flow, and it should be evidently, it should be there every way. So that's how you, like getting a gender neutral toilet, all those things is a kind of evidence that you bring out. So once again, I take this opportunity. Thank you so much, and thank you. I think today I am one of a speaker, so I hope next TEDx I will expect some more speakers, some more different identity transgender speakers. With today I am a trans woman, so I can expect some trans men, Jogappa, Jogti communities. So I would really want more communities to take this kind of stages and be open up and spread that awareness among the different audience. So I think, and also children's, if you see on the roads of a transgender, don't call koja, don't call chakka, don't call nine. These are all not the right words, that we should not use it. We have our own dignified identities. You can identify as a trans woman, trans man, queer, lesbian, bisexuals. That's how I started my speech. You can ask, you don't assume things. So stop calling those things. I think you should not call, because it is not the right word that you should use for the community people. I think you start using us like good identity names that we have it, or you can call us in the name. So that's how you are accepting us. So from today onwards, you will accept how we are. Thank you so much.